Welcome to this Fireside chat presented by Texas Best Fence and Patio. I am here today with Jasmine Thomas, VP of Basketball Operations and Assistant GM. We also have the pleasure of being joined by Aziaha James, the number 12 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Happy to be here.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks for having us.
I guess we can just start off with just all things WNBA. I'll start with you, Jasmine. How does it feel to be a part of the WNBA in your respective role right now?
It feels amazing. You know, I played in this league for 13 years. I aspired to be in this league. So with all the growth and just the excitement around the league right now, with how much the game has grown, with how much the talent has grown, I'm just grateful to still be a part of it.
And Aziaha, for you, just the boom that's going around with women's sports, how does it feel to be entering the league right now?
Like you said, it's a boom right now. You know, this upcoming draft is like the momentum in this class, and you know the WNBA is starting to get more coverage and more media attention, and a lot of star players are starting to come out. So just being in that WNBA aspect, it feels very good.
And who introduced you to basketball?
My brothers, I grew up watching them all the time. Then they gave me the ball in my hand, and we played in the backyard every night. And yeah, they definitely introduced me.
And you kind of have that edge by being left-handed. How do you think that adds to your game?
I think it adds a lot. Many people are right hand, and it's hard sometimes to guard a left hand because you got to switch your position. So I feel like I get a little uphand on that.
And Jasmine, I'll start with you on this one. Growing up and just being able to watch basketball and then participating in it and just having the offense just run through you at Duke, how was that experience setting you up for the WNBA?
It prepares you just to be able to perform in high moments, having a lot of pressure and being able to perform under that. But the ACC has changed a lot. Like when I was in it, it was like a very fast-paced league. It was one of the best conferences at the time. And now it's still up there with the top, but there's just so many different levels to the other conferences now that it's kind of spread out around the country now.
And how would you describe your experience in the ACC?
Yeah, same. I feel like it's very competitive. We got a lot of competitiveness with Duke and UNC.
Duke and State, yeah.
But no, it's good to play around and see the different areas and the different states in the ACC. So it's a lot of competitive.
And how would you say leading your team to the Final Four, how would you say that really allowed you to step up and prepare yourself for the maturity that it takes to be in the WNBA?
Definitely just being that leader, being that vocalist on the court, and just getting my team to that Final Four. I think it helped me tremendously of just being that strong leader and just helping my teams out whenever it's a drought.
And then Jasmine, for you, you always had your eyes set on being a part of the WNBA, but in the front office as well, kind of just seeing past the playing days and already just planning for the future and even interning with the WNBA team. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey?
So going into my senior year, I did an internship with the Washington Mystics. That's my hometown team, and just wanting to, take advantage of any opportunities that I could get. I knew I was gonna play, I knew I wanted to play, but I also wanted to take a peek inside the business side of things. And then just throughout my playing career, anytime I got an opportunity to try some other things or pick the brains of people in offices, I did that.
And Aziaha, for you, when you look at, just the day-to-day, what are some of the other things that you're interested in outside of basketball?
Trying to seek into mental health. I feel like that's a big thing going in this type of era, so just trying to seek in more to mental health and how I can help in my ways.
And then what would you say is one thing that people don't know about you?
I'm a dog mom. Some people know around me, but not many people outside of who know me. I'm a dog mom. I have 2 little dogs.
So personally, for me, I've gone through different levels of grief as well. And I saw that, for your press conference, you had a button of your brother right by your chest, close to your heart. When you were navigating that, what did you tell yourself about good days to come? I know sometimes when grief is right here in front of you, it's hard to know that good days are coming. But for you, how were you able to dig deep to know that good days are on the other side of what I'm going through right now?
Definitely, just little things like that just give me a little boost of energy or a little boost of passion, just seeing his face and remember his words and just continue his legacy. It just gives me a boost every day.
And Jasmine, for you, you're always yourself, whether if you're in the court, whether if we're in an office meeting, wherever we're at, you always show up as yourself. Where would you say that confidence comes from?
I would say it developed over time. It wasn't always easy, but I noticed that when I didn't have confidence in myself, I couldn't change the scenario that I was in, right? Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. So I had to learn to be confident in who I am and the value that I bring and just show up as that every day, no matter what adversity I go through, because that is what I can count on.
Okay, Jasmine, looking at Aziaha, she's a number 12 pick, just like you. You had 13 years in this league. What's some advice that you would give to Aziaha? And Aziaha, I'll give you the chance to ask Jasmine one question.
I would just say it doesn't really matter when you get your opportunity, you just make the most of it, right? Like it depends a lot on the fit. And I would say stay confident in why you're here, right? Like you got drafted for a reason, you're here with the Wings for a reason. So always know that there's a value that separates you and makes you special, but be a sponge. You're gonna learn a lot in a short amount of time, and the faster that you can pick it up, the better.
And just when you was a rookie, what are some things you wish you would have known as a rookie?
It's a long time ago. I would say I always had a work ethic, but until I saw just what it took, like the hours, I would say honestly in the film room, right? Like really being able to self-assess and learn from video and implement that on the court without having to always physically be out there. That was an adjustment for me, but it was something for the rest of my career that I just took my head on.
Well, thank you both for joining us. Thank you for those watching wherever, here, there, everywhere. We're so excited that you were able to tune in, and we can't wait to see you at the next one.